So the side, side, side is the SSS postulate. The side, side, side. Okay? And it says if 3 sides in one triangle are congruent to 3 sides in the second triangle, then the triangles are congruent. If you would have known that all 3 were congruent, yes. Okay. All right. So look at this triangle, or these 2 triangles. KL segment is congruent to NL. So when you see this information, you really need to first start by drawing the picture on your paper, if on your homework, because you're going to want to mark this up. All right? You're going to have about 5 or 6 congruency postulates or theorems that you're going to want to be pulling from, depending on what I give you in your given statement to do these proofs. All right? The biggest thing that you need to do is don't try and keep it all in your brain. Put it down on paper and mark. Okay? Right now, the only one that we have is the side, side, side postulate. So today will be pretty easy. There will be a day at the very end where I'm going to give you a sheet with all different types of proofs. And you don't know which postulate you're going to use unless you get in the habit of marking up your triangles. Okay? So, if I tell you that KL and NL are congruent, I want you to show me that on that picture. If I'm telling you that KM and NM are congruent, mark them up differently. You don't want to show that they're all congruent to each other. We just want to show which ones are congruent. Okay? And so I'm trying to prove that the 2 triangles are congruent to each other. Now notice, K, L, M, 1, none, 2, and N, L, M, 1 tick, none, 2 tick. So the order is very important, okay? So if I would have said something different, like triangle L, N, M, I wouldn't have been able to show that, right? Because I would have had the order in the wrong, the sides in the wrong position. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. So I have, as a given, and remember, all I know right now is side, side, side. Don't I show 2 sides taken care of? So I need to come up with a statement for the third side. So I have KL is congruent to NL, and KM is congruent to NM, and both of these are given statements. You can. So, what, think about it. If you need to, do some separation. You're going to have to come up with your own little bag of tricks. What's my statement going to be? LM, segment LM is congruent to LM. We want to make sure the order is right. I'm going from the side on this first triangle that goes from a 1 tick to a 2 tick, right? So we want to make sure we get the same direction. In other words, if we say LM, do I need to say LM for the right, or do I say ML? Which one do I need to say? LM. I'm going from 1 tick to 2 ticks, right? So why can I say LM is congruent to LM? It's reflexive. That's right. Remember? I said reflexive, transitive, and symmetric are some of your best friends, including vertical angles. Those are the bag of tricks that you're pulling from right now. Athena? Yeah, they have symmetry. Okay. Okay, that means I just took care of the third side. If I had found 3 sides, then I can say that the 2 triangles are congruent. By the side, side, side postulate. So this starts out real easy because you only have one postulate to pull from. Okay. Does that make sense? Here, I forgot my little tips on top. Put those on. Yes, ma'am. Yes, that's good. I'm sorry. Yes, side, side, side has to be on your note cards. Do it later on your own time, though. Okay, Athena? That was from yesterday. Mhm. Mhm. You don't have this one? Oh, it came off, didn't it? Ooh. Okay. So A, B. I think it goes like that. Thank you. Yes. Mhm. But I only asked you to prove it congruent. You don't have the little equal sign with the squiggly thing on top? Okay, then on yours you would have to go a step further, but on mine I have just the congruency statement. So you can either just add a little congruency on yours, but you're right. Okay. Does anybody else not have the congruency symbol? Yeah. These are the notes that have been on Moodle forever. Really? Oh, I just put those up. Yeah, that's what I just said. Put those up. Okay. Okay. So let's see. We're going to mark up our drawings, okay? I'm telling you that A, B, and C, D are congruent. They each get 1 tick, okay? I'm telling you that A, E, and C, E are congruent. A, E, and C, E. And then I give you that E is a midpoint. Well, that's kind of strange. Statement, reason. I'll just do given and given. Anything that's given has to be used. It's not just given there for no reason. And again, I'm using the side, side, side. I've found 2 congruency statements. That means I'm left to find 1. What would I need to say? So, why? Claire? Do we say they're congruent or we say that they're equal, right? Okay, so we'll say step 2 that BE, the segment BE is equal to segment what? Let's do DE because order is important, right? And why would we say that? Yes, definition of a midpoint. So, you know, if you forget the definition of a midpoint, maybe that's one that you want to include in your spiral note cards too. But if you can remember that, then that's fine. Okay? Okay. But remember, I need 3 equality statements, and I don't have 3 yet. So how would I still need to get that third one? What is that third one, Natalie? So we say segment BE is congruent to segment, yes, DE. And the definition of that is? We're going to say definition of congruent segments, yes. Now, I have my third congruency statement. Therefore, I can say that triangle ABE is definitely congruent to CDE triangle by the SSS. Making sense? Nah. Some things you just know and you accept. Other things you can still prove. All right, and I think that's all I wrote. Yes? Yeah, you can. So let's just talk about this. Prove triangle ABC, that means these coordinates, and DEF, these coordinates, are congruent. What do you think I'm going to have to do? Huh? Not by looking at it. What do we have to use? Why do we need slope? Because if I have SSS, that is length oriented, isn't it? So I need distance. So I need the distance between A and B, right? And the distance between B and C. And the distance between A and C. And those should match up nicely and in the correct order with D and E, E and F, and DF. So I'm not going to do that, but I just wanted to talk to you about it. Does that make sense? And so just for a quick review, what's the distance formula? And careful of your double negatives. Okay, careful of those double negatives, a minus a negative. Okay? All right, now